I know my colleagues here want to join in on the debate that just transpired, but I wanted to take a minute to talk about Senate Bill 1542 that passed last night. And I know just as people are frustrated here with everything that's going on, I think it is important to stop for a second when something does pass, and it is good policy, that we talk about it, and that is the Child and Family Services Improvement and Innovation Act. Congress took a pretty big step last night in improving the lives of children by the passage of this legislation. It's about keeping families together. It's about rewarding government efficiency and driving down cost, and it's about giving flexibility to invest in programs that are proven to work for kids and families. This bill is about America's children. It's about making sure that America's foster care program works for children so that they can keep their families together. Too often, our federal policies have punished states who have innovative programs, giving states money based on how many kids were still in foster care, instead of rewarding success and innovation that help transition children out of the foster care system and back with their families. Let me tell you what has happened in Washington State. We've been implementing innovative programs to improve foster care for many years now. When Washington State noticed a disproportionate number of Native American children being placed in foster care, our advocates took action and implemented the Washington Indian Child Welfare Act, developing strategies for strengthening tribal relationships and promoting the best interests of Native American children. When Washington State noticed in general how long children were staying in foster care, advocates took action, this time implementing policies to help reduce the length of stay for children in out-of-home care. As a result, the median length of stay for children in out-of-home care declined almost 100 days between 2009 and 2011. In addition, Washington State reduced its foster care caseload by 13.8% during a similar time period. Unfortunately, instead of being rewarded for these actions, we were penalized, and that is what this legislation has helped to correct. In fact, we lost $2.7 million during that time period. So this legislation helps us, instead of punishing Washington State for keeping kids out of foster care, helps us ensure the kind of innovation that will help us to make sure that the best programs are implemented. This allows Washington to increase our capacity to keep doing the things that keep children who have been in the foster care system from being in the foster care system the entirety of their childhood. This instead drives them, hopefully successfully, back with their families. Now our state can invest in evidence-based programs that have proven to work, and just as this legislation will help us to do, it will make sure that children don't bounce from foster home to foster home on a continual basis. We will help to keep kids out of the care system, but when possible, place them back safely with families. Washington State Representative Ruth Kagi, who's been a tireless advocate for this system, said it best: the Title IV-E waiver helps the state move from purchasing specific services to purchasing specific outcomes. I want to thank Chairman Baucus and Ranking Member Hatch for their timely and innovative work on this legislation. I wish my colleagues could have been at the hearing that was held earlier this year when Senator Baucus asked young adults who had been part of the foster system for their entire lives how to change the system. I want to thank the chairman for taking into consideration the specific improvements and innovation that Washington State has advocated for. And I want to thank my colleague, Representative Jim McDermott, and the Washington State legislators who worked on this, including an organization, Partners for Our Children, and the Children's Home Society of Washington, and the various social workers and advocates that in our state continue to try to innovate when it comes to foster care in America. This legislation is a major step forward to promote innovation on a federal basis and to help keep families together. In doing so, we will have the benefit of also driving more efficiency and driving down the cost. But more importantly, we're going to be working to strengthen America's children and families by trying effectively to keep them together. I thank the President, and I yield the floor.